they, yeah, it's scary, man.
Yeah. But I got some classes that are, really, it's weird how different the classes are.
Yeah, I mean, I like dealing with seniors. I like the senior classes. I've always liked dealing with the senior classes. It's just this last month.
Yeah,
You know how it goes. The last month of school.
it's always rough, but this is gonna be terrible this year.
Yeah, just because a full year being online, dude. It's because most well, let me back up. Just watching videos and doing everything without talking and working through everything is difficult.
Yeah.
It's not very engaging. It's not exciting. It's not like we're coming here, and even though you're not great at math, at least you're working with other people.
Yeah, and we can get it through. Yeah.
Good morning.
I was wondering if I left a white thermos in here yesterday. Did you see one?
No, but I have an extra one. You want it?
No, I got a water bottle.
I'm serious. It's a good little bottle. I haven't even used it yet. You want it?
I'm good.
It's yours. Okay. No, this was something I have to say.
Think so.
All right. You know what it is?
Yeah. I'll say that. Or I figured that maybe in an emergency or something.
Yeah. These are too cheap. I don't know why they wasted money on that kind of stuff. It's we wasted so much money. I don't know where these disappeared. I had a whole stack here, and I came the next day. What did you do? Did yours disappear too?
Well, really, I mean, I have mine just kind of in, over here and over there in the room, like off the side, but I haven't paid attention to what's still there or not. I just left my room where I left like back half of the room kind of more spread out with some shields.
Yeah.
To kind of force it, it's in one of the portion towards the front of it. Hurt them up.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So
I only have one class where it's kind of I have like 15 kids. Only one. All the other ones are between 2 and 10. Once the seniors are elected, stay at home.
But I thought when they were combining cohorts, see, I misunderstood how things were. I thought me and you were going to be together. I started counting up on my kids in the room like that.
A lot of people stayed and just went forward.
Well, I didn't realize that that was even an option. So then I'm like confused. I'm like, oh, crap, figure this out. So I figure that out.
Yep.
So special markings on my thing for who's who's not. So, all right, take care, man. All right, bye. My dad, so I was talking to my dad last night.
Yeah.
So bummed out in this place. It's like a rehabilitation place.
Yeah, that's a tough one, dude.
Dude, he says that they treat him. I'm 78 year. He's like, 140, he's super high IQ guy, smart dude. I didn't get those genes, unfortunately. But,
So how's he feeling?
he's feeling like they're treating him like a 7-year-old. It's like, tell him when I have pain, and they're telling me I shouldn't have pain. It's like, well, I have pain.
Yeah, I told you. Well, I don't know if I told you or not. My experience, but it's rough being in there. When I took care of my mom in the nursing home, it's very humbling. It's brutal. Dude, you don't want to be in there. You want to.
Yeah, he's miserable. He's so bummed out.
Yeah,
You don't want to be treated like a 7-year-old. Like,
I don't blame him.
yeah.
Yeah, no one would, right?
Yeah. Makes you think about that,
Mm-hmm. Morning.
Morning.
How you doing, Valentina?
Doing good.
How's your week going this week?
Still pretty good.
So What's the best thing happening at school now that we're semi back?
Probably getting to see all my friends.
Well, that's important for sure. Good morning. How you doing? You do. Dun, 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 dun. Valentina, have you signed in yet? Oh, okay, I was gonna say. I think there's a little small, yeah. Good morning. All right, well, it's good to see you guys. Go ahead and sign in and let's work here together. This is the last lesson of the year. Do you guys realize that?
Start review next time.
Say again?
Do we start review next time? Next month?
Yeah, next week. Well, we review for the chapter 7 test and then we have a final. So this is our last lesson. I know it's going by fast. I can't believe I'm saying this is the last lesson of the year. All right, so go ahead and get your calculators ready, your workbook ready. Let's get everybody in and let's go for it here. Let's get strong here. Okay, and get some graph paper. You're gonna put it on the side because there's no way you can do all this work in your notebook here. And there's some extra paper on the center desk if you guys need some right there. Okay, because you're definitely gonna need it. Okay, dun, dun, dun. Let's bring everybody in. Good morning, everybody. I thought I was gonna see you guys here in class. I tell you, I thought you came to school.
Yeah, I'm not doing the 4 days though. I'm just doing the 2.
Oh, I got you. Okay, so the Tuesday, Wednesday only, and then at home. Okay, well, that's cool. At least I'm seeing you here online. Very good. All right, you guys get ready to go here. Good morning. It's good to see everybody. Let's get ready for the last lesson of the year, which is section 5. So get your notebook out and get some graph paper because there's no way you can do all your work in the workbook. And you guys are going to be helping with the calculating. So get your calculators ready to rock and let's enjoy our time here together. Go through the last lesson of the year. Hayden, good morning. All right. I can't believe I'm saying that this is the last lesson of the year. This is gone by way too fast. So because we're going to go through section 5 here, you're going to have to show setup here and everything like we normally do. So show setup and process as we normally do. Uh-oh, my pen's going crazy. All right, and you're going to get some extra graph paper here. So because there's this is a fairly straightforward lesson. However, there's a lot involved. Okay, so get some graph paper off to the side and get ready and set up to go. And of course, you're going to need Desmos here. And when you're ready to rock here, just go ahead and let me know in the chat, ready to go. And we'll get started here on our last lesson in section 5, talking about mortgage points, about loans, guys. Okay, that's what we've been talking about in the last few days. Let's see how many people we can get here in today. No problem, Natalie. I got your message here. Justin's ready. Caitlin's ready. Rebecca, how are we doing this morning? Are we staying alert? Are you tired? Long week? Yeah, okay. I understand that. Okay. Being seniors, I know the last few days, last few weeks actually, might be pretty tough getting ready for finals, finishing your projects. Have you guys finished all your senior projects yet? Like government, English, and all that kind of stuff? No, you're still working on things? Are they due it like at the last day, like the week before finals or something? Okay, well, it's a good thing we're ending early here in this class so that you guys can, just study for this. This is a small test on chapter 7 because there's only 4 sections. That won't be too hard as long as you do the workbook, okay? And then, of course, the final, we have to get ready for the final, and I'll produce a review, a full-on review and video final as well. Okay, Rebecca, that's funny. You need to try using what's called an alarm, Tiger. I have an alarm set off, 2 alarms before I have to come to work. Because I live in Wildemar, as you guys know. And so I have to wake up around 5:30 to leave by 6:30. And then I set alarms, prior to every class. So my phone goes off prior to every class, give me like the 5-10 minute countdown. So Rebecca, you might want to try that. Use your handy dandy alarm on your phone or something like that. And put your phone like across the room. My son is famous for leaving his alarm going on. I can hear it in my room and it's still going in the morning. He just sleeps right through it. And so sometimes I have to go in there and say, hey dude, wake up, time to rock and roll here. Okay. Well, it's good to see everybody here. Let's turn your videos on. I want to see you because I don't have the privilege to see everybody in class these days. So please turn your cameras on and work with me here. This is our last lesson, you guys. We're done with the chapter 7 here. We're not going to go any further. And then I'm going to produce a review this for you guys this weekend. We test on sections 1, 3, 4, and 5 in chapter 7 next week. And I'll produce a review and put that in Canvas. I still have to work on it and finish it. And I'll do that by tomorrow night so you guys can start working on it over the weekend. We test on chapter 7 next week. And then, of course, we have to review for the final. So we only have a quiz on chapter 7 on Monday, and then a test, and then your final. And that's it. And then, gosh, you guys are off and run into whatever you guys are doing. Okay, so yeah, and there's senior projects and all kinds of stuff going on. Okay, Mateo and let me see, Cameron, Connor, you guys got to turn your cameras on, please. Let's get started. Now, again, get some graph paper off to the side because there's no way you guys can do all this in your little workbook here. So, and then help me out with the calculations as we always do, because that's how you learn. You learn by doing, not by watching. Okay, you guys ready to go in class here? Okay, online, are we ready to go, guys? Give me a thumbs up or down online. Yeah, are we ready? Okay, I see Natalie, Rebecca, Logan. All right, all you guys, Justin. All right, here we go. Let's finish strong here. Now we're going to be talking about what are called points on the loan. And because this stuff is all fairly new to you guys, because you've never taken out a home loan before, if I'm not making any sense, speak up and I will try to explain the best I can so that you guys understand what's going on. But loans are not free, okay? Home loans are not free. You got to pay for them. And there is a lot going on in terms of the home loan. So it says, let's read the problem here together. We're going to do all of this here. Well, most of these problems, some of them you're going to be doing on your own. So number 1 says, determine the cost of the points. Okay. Hey, good morning. How you doing, Kayla? All right, just join us here. Sit next to somebody, okay? And then we're starting on section 5. You're going to need your workbook, some graph paper. There's some extra graph paper there if you need it. And obviously a calculator so you can participate like we always do, okay? And as you kind of missed my little message here, this is our last lesson, okay, in chapter 7. We're not going to go any further. We're going to review starting over the weekend and then test on chapter 7 next week. And we only covered sections 1, 3, 4, and this one 5, and that's it, okay? All right. Oh, there's Mateo. There we go. Man, you got a bright light behind you there, buddy. Ooh. Okay, don't worry about it. I can handle it. Okay, so determine the cost of the points. What in the world does that mean? So the cost of the points, that's the first thing we got to do. And the new interest rate. So number 1, we got to figure out the cost of the points. We have to figure out our new interest rate, number 2, for each loan and interest rate. Okay, assume that each point costs 1% of the loan. Okay, there's the important part right there. Each point cost 1% of the loan. So a point is the same as a 1%. Okay, so let's note that up here. So 1 point, all right, is equal to 1%. Okay, so a point, when you go into a bank and they start talking about loans, when they say points, they're talking about percentages. So 1 point, 1%, 2 points, 2%, 3 points, 3%, and so on. So you just got to get used to the lingo. Okay, now the purchase price, the loan amount happens to be right here. Let's see. Okay, so the loan amount in this case is $280,000, which is a modest house. In today's world, that's kind of like a small small condo or something like that, not a house. Houses typically in this area start around 300,000, typically 400,000 in Marietta and Temecula, and go all the way up into, the millions if you're in Temecula. Okay, so original APR is 4.18%, 1 point with a 2% discount. Hang on for a second, people oh, there we go, that's Kayla. Okay, so believe it or not, you can buy down your interest rate. The lower the interest rate on a home loan, the less you pay per month. Okay, so it is possible to buy down the interest rate, and they're called points. So what we want to do first is figure out how much does it cost to buy down the interest rate, because the lower the interest rate, the lower you pay overall. All right, so let's start off with this. Okay, this is 1 point with a 2% discount. So 1 point here, we'll start basic here, is equal to 1%, okay, which happens to be 0.01 as a decimal. Well, that's the first thing you have to know, 1.1%. Now let's figure out the cost of the loan first, because that's what they want you to do, figure out the cost of the points. And it says each point costs 1% of the loan amount. So we got to calculate 1% of the loan amount. So here we go, okay? So I'll model the first one and maybe the second one, then I'm going to get everybody involved here. I'm going to go around the room. So the cost of the loan is 1 point, okay, 1 point of the purchase price. So we got to calculate 1%, which is 0.01 of 280,000. Here we go. So 280,000. Okay, everybody start working on that. Like I said, you're going to help me out with the arithmetic here, and I'll help explain the different terminology of the lesson here, because this is all brand new to you guys. You've never bought a house before. Okay, so Valentina, can you help me out with that? What's 1% of 280,000? 2,800. Okay, so here we go. So it's going to cost you, if this was you here, $2,800 to bring down the interest rate from 4.18%, okay, down. Okay, so 1 point with a 2.2% discount. So this is important here too. So let me highlight this. Okay, it costs $2,800 to get a. Well, hang on for a second here, and let me change colors. It costs $2,800 to just bring it down by 0.2%. Now, it doesn't sound like much, but when you're talking about a house that's in the hundreds of thousands, and when you pay for this thing over 30 years, that turns out that 0.2% turns out to be a big savings. And that's what you have to realize. And that's the whole essence of the lesson, because we're going to figure all that out. So here we go. Let's calculate the new APR. So the new APR. Okay, so the old APR, the old APR is 4.18%. If we pay $2,800, we're going to bring it down 0.2%. So what we need to do is take our original APR of 4.18% and subtract, okay, the discount, which is 0.2%. Okay, and all you have to do is subtract those two values. So you enter in 4.18% here, and you subtract 0.2. Make sure you type in 0.2 or 0.2%, and it's going to bring the interest rate down, which is going to save you money. So if you pay $2,800 up front, it's going to bring the interest rate down to 3.98%. Okay, so 3.98%. This is the new APR. Now the question is, why would you do that? And so what you have to understand is that when you pay for a home, an expensive home in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, which that's what they are typically, bringing down the interest rate is an important thing, because the lower the interest rate, the less you're going to pay over time. And when you're paying over 30 years, which is 360 months, the savings that you have per month will add up big time. Okay, so you have to get the use of the lingo. 1 point equals 1%. And then they have to tell you what the point gives you in terms of the discount. And it's going to change as we go through the problem. So let me model one more time here, because part B deals with 2 points, C 3 points, and so on. So you got to modify it slightly, but this is the idea. Okay, so let's go through one more example here before I get you guys involved and have you try it on your own. And you guys jump in with questions as you go. Okay, don't wait. If I'm not making sense, you got to speak up. Okay. So in this one here, we have a new loan amount of $350,000, APR is 2.95%, but here we're dealing with 2 points. Okay, so we start off with this. So 2 points now. Okay, now 2 points is 2%. It's going to cost us 2% of the loan value, which is 0.02 as a decimal. So you always want to take the points that you're working with here, and to figure out the cost of the loan, you want to take your points, convert it to a percentage, and then you multiply it by the loan amount, which in this case is 350,000. So let's work on the cost first. Let's see how much it's going to cost us for reducing our interest rate if we want 2 points, okay, which costs us 2 points. So we're going to calculate 2% or 0.02 of the loan amount, which happens to be 350,000. I'm going to just go around the room, ask you guys to help me out with the calculations here. So get ready to offer your calculations here. And Justin, you can help me out with this one here whenever you're ready. The cost of loan is 2% of the loan amount, 350,000. So what does it cost us on this one to reduce the interest rate?
7,000.
That's right. So if we pay $7,000, we can reduce the interest rate. So let's calculate the new APR. Now the old APR in the problem, it's right here. It's 2.95%. Now 2 points with it says right here, this is the key part. It says 0.275% discount per point, Okay, so we want 2 points. Okay, we want to reduce it using 2 points. So what we have to do is take the old APR of 2.95%, so 2.95%, and subtract two times the 2.75, because it says per point. That's the key one right there. So 1 point, we can get a discount, or we can reduce it. Okay, decrease it by 2.75%. But if we want 2, we got to multiply it by 2. All right, so take 2 times the 0.275%, and we'll get our new APR, because we want 2 points worth, okay, not 1, but 2. So let's go to Desmos here, and all you do is type it in. You start off with your old APR. Okay, so you start off with 2.95, and then subtract, right, 2 times the percentage discount per point. Okay, and you guys finish up that calculation. Haven, you can help me out with this one if you could. What's 2.95 minus the 2 times 2.75? We're going to pay 2 points worth, and we're going to reduce it down the old interest rate, or the old APR, by 2.75% per point. There you go, 2.4%. So I'll finish up here. So 2.95 minus 2 times the 0.275, and that'll give you 2.4%. All right, so the new interest rate is 2.4%. So what happens in this situation here, if this was you're paying, you want to buy a house that's cost $350,000, you would have to take a loan amount on for 2.95% without buying it down. Okay, that's what it would be with no points. But with the points, if you want to buy down the interest rate, you would have to pay $7,000 upfront in the beginning. All right, to get that discount, and you subtract the 2 times the discount rate, which is 2.75%, to get the new APR. So you could factor that over time, over 30 years, and you'd have a lower monthly payment just by paying $7,000 up front. And it sounds like a lot, but remember, this is a home loan. That's a $350,000 loan over 30 years. So bringing down the interest rate would be huge, as you're going to find out in the examples. Okay, let me have you guys try this one here. So get ready here. We got to do the same sort of thing here. On this one, though, we got an expensive house. It's a $600,000 house. We know the APR, the original APR is 4.6%, but this time we want 3 points instead of 2 points. But each point is going to cost us, or to reduce it, to discount it by 0.225%, we got to factor that in for 3 points. So let's go through the thought process here. We want to pay it down. We're using the 3 points on the loan, which is 3% or 0.03. let's figure out the cost, okay? So Shannon, help me out on this one here. We'll just move around the room and get you guys involved a little bit here. How do we figure out the cost?
It's 0.03 times 600,000.
Okay, so when you're ready, let me know what that is.
It is 18,000.
There you go. So if we pay $18,000 upfront, we can buy down the loan, meaning buy down the interest rate. Okay, so let's figure out the new APR here. If we pay 3 points worth to reduce the interest rate here. Okay, APR that is. Okay, let me work with Natalie a little bit here. How would we calculate the APR on this one? If the original APR is 4.6% and we're going to buy down this interest rate.
You would just do 4.60 minus 0.225 times 3, and
There you go.
then you'd get 3.925.
Okay, so let me repeat what you said. Very good. So 4.6%, the old APR, minus 3 times, okay, because we're using 3 points worth, and it's 0.225% per point. The key word is per point. So 3 times 0.225%. And could you help me out again? Would you repeat your end result there?
I got 3.925.
There you go. Okay, so in this case, thank you. If we pay $18,000 up front in the beginning of the loan, you would change the APR or reduce the APR from 4.6% to 3.925. Now, believe it or not, Ainsworth did this just a few months ago. I refinanced my house to a lower interest rate, but in order to do that, I had to pay money up front. And it was an important thing because when you reduce your interest rate over 30 years on a house that's in the hundreds of thousands, we're talking about a big savings overall. Okay. So this sort of thing is done all the time. Like I said, I did it just a few months ago when I refinanced. Okay. All right. Let's see. Next one here. Let's see. Let me get Mateo involved. Okay. So we got a $450,000 house. APR is 3.75. Here, 1 point. We're only going to do a 1 point with a 0.3% discount. So this one's fairly straightforward. So 1 point or 1%, 1 point. Okay. Mateo, how do we calculate the cost of reducing the interest rate with 1 point?
0.01 times 450,000,
Okay. And what are you coming up with on that?
4,500.
There you go. Okay, so if we pay $4,500 or yeah, $4,500, we can reduce the interest rate by 0.3%, all right, per point. Okay, per point. So Rebecca, how do we calculate the new APR in this one?
I did 3.75 minus 0.3.
Yeah, just minus 0.3 because we're dealing with 1 point only. And what'd you get on that?
3.45.
There you go. So if you, and that's percentage. So if you pay $4,500 up front, you can bring down the interest rate. And believe it or not, that little decrease adds up to a lot of money over time, as you're going to find out. We're actually going to do the calculations. Okay, we're on a roll, so let's keep it going here. Tristan, take the next one here. What's going on here? How many points are we working with in Part E? Okay, so what percentage is that? What's 2 points as a percentage? Okay, and as a decimal? Okay, and how do you figure out the cost of the loan? Okay, and oh, this is a more expensive house. Okay, what'd you get for that? 40,000. Yeah, 40,000. And you know, if you can afford a $2 million house, you can probably afford 40,000 up front because no one buys a $2 million house without having a lot of money in the bank and without having a huge salary per year. So it sounds like a lot of money, but if you're making, or if you can afford that kind of house, which I cannot, okay, not on a teacher salary, you can afford buying down the loan. Okay, so let's figure out the new APR. Okay, let's get some other people involved here too. All right, Colson, help me out a little bit here. I haven't talked to you in a while. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
All right. Playing any cornhole or ping pong or horseshoes?
Not too much lately.
Okay. Well, that's okay. I haven't either, actually. I've been too busy. How do we figure out the new APR if we're gonna use 2 points to buy down this interest rate?
You do the old APR, so 3.55%, and then
Mhm.
minus 2 times the 0.235.
Okay. Were you able to do that yet?
Yeah, I got 3.08.
All right, good man. Thank you. All right, and so that's the new APR. So I know this sounds a little crazy because you guys have never bought a home before because you're too young. But if you want to buy a $2 million house, which is going to cost a lot of money over 30 years, it's probably going to be about $5 million over time, about 5 million to buy that house. If you pay $40,000 upfront in the beginning, you can go from 3.55% APR down to 3.08, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it actually is when you do the calculations over time. And we will here in a minute. There's a couple problems where we actually do that. Okay, so let's pause here. Give me some feedback. Thumbs up. Yes.
When you buy points, you pay that back towards the loan of the house or just buy points?
You're just buying points. So you got to factor that. That's either cash out of pocket. It is possible sometimes to factor that $40,000 back into the loan. So you're paying that back over time. But if you do that, then you're paying more than 40,000 because there's going to be interest on that. So over 30 years, that 40,000, if you do that, would equate to probably 100,000. So people usually have that cash in the bank, and you just basically give that to the bank. It buys down the interest rate, and then you finance only 2 million, not the 2,040,000. Did I answer your question? Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Now let's get into another application problem. Okay, and this is where we're going to have to do some side work here. So get ready for that. So get some extra paper out, like I said. When I worked through these problems here, it took me like 3 pages worth. Is a lot more involved than I thought. Okay, number 2. This is a key problem right through here. Number 2 and 3 are related. So if you understand 2, you can probably do well, they're related. So yeah, so these 2 are similar. Okay, Juanita here wants to buy or take out a 15-year. Whoa, this is a short home loan, guys. $350,000 loan. Typically loans are 30 years, not 15. If you're making a lot of money and you can afford a higher monthly payment, then you would do a 15-year. But that's only if you're making a pretty good income per month. And then the APR is 3.4%. She is not sure as to whether or not she should purchase points to reduce the loan APR. If she purchases 2 points, it will be decrease her APR to 0.2125% per point. Okay. And that's important. So we should probably underline that. So it would reduce or decrease the APR by 0.125%. That's 1/8 of 1% per point. The words per point is important here. And then it says each point will cost her 1% of the loan, as I said earlier. So 1 point, okay, equals 1% of the loan. That's the cost, okay? So when mortgage people, the bank people, when you go into a bank and you start working on something like this, when they talk points, they're talking percentages. I know it sounds kind of weird, but that's what it's just a percentage. So each point will cost 1% of the loan. Compare her monthly payments with and without the purchase of the points. So we're going to have to compute a monthly payment. So let's put that in red. Compare her monthly payments. We need the monthly payment formula. So this is a big problem, okay? Okay, so here we go. 15 years. What we need to do first is we need to figure out how many months that is. Okay, so over off to the right, 15 years. Okay, can you guys help me out with that? How many months is that? You can either turn your mics on online or you can just speak up, one of the two. I don't know if you guys heard that online, but 15 times 12 is 180 months. So I always figure that out first. You know me, I always figure out the number of months because that's the exponent in the monthly payment formula. So 15-year loan, look at it. It says it's a 15-year, $350,000 loan. All right, so let's split this up into two categories. We got the old APR, okay, or the original APR. So the APR of, it says up here, it's right here, 3.4%, 3.4%. And then we have the new APR if we buy down the loan. Okay, so we're gonna buy down the loan. It says right here, it will cost, she wants 2 points and it will decrease the APR by 0.125% per point. Okay, so we got to calculate the new APR. So let's do that first. This is why number one was so important, because we have to calculate the new APR now. Okay, so the old APR is 3.4%. If we, it says if she purchases 2 points, look at this. If she purchases 2 points, not 1 point, but 2 points, what's the new APR? So I need help on that. Alyssa, can you help me out on that? Use the skills like in number one, what we did here in number one, parts A through E on this one right here. Can you help me out to figure out how to calculate the new APR?
Yeah, I can. So give me a second to write it down so I don't forget it.
That's okay. You can just talk as you're writing. You just go ahead and talk as you write, and you can, I'll do the same, and we can calculate this together here. The old APR is 3.4%. She wants to purchase 2 points, and each point's going to cost her 0.125%. Or it's going to reduce, excuse me, going to reduce 0.125%. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, so you take the old APR, which would be the 3.4, like you said, and then you subtract 2, and then multiply it by the new APR, which is 0.125.
Okay, so if you take 3.1 or 3.4% minus 2 times the 0.125%, what's the new APR there?
It would be 3.15.
There you go. Thanks. All right, there you go. So we got the new APR now. Okay, so the old APR was 3.4%. The new APR is going to be 3.15%. And now what we need to do is calculate the monthly payments on each of these. So here we go. This is the big deal. Okay, now the loan amount, it's 15 years, got that down 180 months. And we're talking about a $350,000 loan. Okay, that's the principal. So here we go. So the monthly payment M, okay, which we typically use, and we're going to use the monthly payment formula here on a $350,000 house. We got to multiply by R divided by N, so 0.034 divided by N. By the way, what's N in here? These are monthly payments, so what does N have to be for all monthly payments? It's 12, N is 12, so you might want to write that down somewhere. We're talking about monthly here, so N is always 12. It's not daily. If it was daily, N would be 365. If it was quarterly, N would be 4, but this is monthly. So when you're using the monthly payment formula, you're going to divide the APR by 12 because we're dealing with 12 months per year, times 1 plus 0.034 divided by 12 raised to what power? Can you guys help me out with that? What power? It's to the NT power here, but what should the power be? And anybody online could jump in here too. Oh, there we go. You guys reading the chat here too? We got people in the chat running through here. So we raised it to the NT power. N is 12, and then T is 15. 15 times 12 is 180. So we're going to raise that to the 180th power. So Rebecca, Alyssa, and Sarah, you guys raising it to the 180th power here. Okay, again, it's always to the number of months. Okay, divide that by 1 plus 0.034 divided by 12 to the 180th power, and then don't forget to subtract 1. Okay, now this is a Desmos deal here. So go ahead and start working on that, you guys. So type in 350,000. Make sure you put the right number of zeros in there, okay? It has 4 zeros times 0.034 divided by 12 times 1 plus 0.034 divided by 12. Okay, let's raise that to the 180th power because it's 15 years or 180 months. And then you got to divide that by 1 plus 0.034 divided by 12. Raised to the 180th power. And right there, I'm not done yet here. You guys finish up the calculation here. And this number is, it's under $3,000 per month. Let me just say that. Can you guys go to the chat on this one here and let me know what you're coming up with here? Let me just see what the class is coming up with. And then afterwards, I'll finish the calculation in Desmos and we'll get a more appropriate answer because that answer is not appropriate, okay? Need everybody to comment on yours. Go ahead and put it in when you're ready. If you get a different number than Rebecca, put in your monthly payment. So where was it, Rebecca? Let me know where it was.
I put 4.3 instead of 3.4 for the APR.
You know, I do that all the time.
Yeah.
That happens to me all the time. In fact, I think something's going on with me as I get older because I've been doing the switch routine, the dyslexic thing all the time. And so when I get wrong answers, I always look for that because I mix up the digits all the time. Okay. So don't worry about it. So here we go. So in fact, you know, right now, what's going on with mine here? There's something wrong with my calculation here. What in the world is it? There we go. I forgot the decimal. I didn't even see that. Okay, so you guys are correct up there. So $2,484 and roughly 94 cents. Okay, so that's your first monthly payment. So $2,894.94. This is per month now. That's with an interest rate of 3.4. Now, as I said earlier, it doesn't sound like a lot to reduce it down to 3.15%. You know, when people look at those percentages, 3.4 versus 3.15, they don't think naturally that this makes a whole big deal. But watch what happens. Okay, let's recalculate it with a new APR. Now, so let's set it up again. So the new one, it's the same equation, obviously. So just basically replicate it, but again, your APRs change. So 0.0315 divided by 12. Hey guys, is my screen big enough for you guys to see? My writing and everything, is that big enough? Okay, I just want to make sure. Times 1 plus 0.0315 divided by 12 to the 180th power. Just repeat the same formula, but change your interest rate. And then when you do this on Desmos, what you do is I usually just copy paste. So if you look at my screen right now, I'm going to do that. I'm going to highlight the entire formula, copy it, and then I'm going to go down to the next line. I'm going to paste it in. This is what I did usually do when I'm working through these things. And it will help you speed up your testing, by the way. If you copy paste your formulas and just modify your interest rate, like I'm doing right now, I'm going to go into the interest rate with my cursor here and just change it to 0.0315. And you just change your interest rate because you already got your formula up there. So you might as well just use it over and over again. That's usually what I do. And if you have to change the number of months, you can do that easily too. We'll do that on certain problems here. But notice that the monthly payment went down, okay? And it should go down because when the interest rate goes down, the monthly payment goes down. And that's why people buy down their interest rate, is because you're going to be saving money over time.
Wouldn't their principal be smaller too, or not but their loan? I mean,
Say it again.
wouldn't the loan, because it's costing their loan, so would the 350,000 be less as well? Or is that not how that works? Or am I misunderstanding what's going on?
So you're talking about the cost of buying down the interest rate?
Right.
Okay, so the cost is, it's going to cost us 2% of the 350,000. So it's going to cost, if we figured out the cost, it doesn't ask us in this problem, but if we figured out the cost, it would be 2% of 350,000. You know what that is, Mateo?
7,000, I think.
That's right. Now, if we were going to do this, if we are going to buy down the interest rate, it would cost us $7,000 out of pocket up front. So we'd have to have that cash in the bank.
Right.
And then we'd pay that, we just hand them over $7,000. And then we can go from 3.4% to 3.15%, and we can reduce our monthly payment to $2,442, and it looks like 37 cents. So we have a savings per month here. The question is like, after how long does it take to break even and to profit from this? Because we spent $7,000 initially. So the question is like, when do we actually start? We get all their money back because we're saving money every month, right? In fact, let's figure that out just for funsies here. Let's figure out our monthly savings. It doesn't ask us this, but we're going to need this in number 3 anyways. So let's do it. So you guys work on this right here. Take our monthly payment at 3.4% and take the other one and subtract, and let's figure out our savings. So 28.94.94 minus the 24.42.37. Did you guys work on that? How much are we saving per month to do this? Because you wouldn't do it unless you're saving money. All right, it wouldn't make any financial sense to do something like this because it costs money up front. It costs us $7,000. All right. What would that be? What would the savings be per month? Anybody can jump in here. Okay, so now you guys agree with Natalie here? Did you guys subtract? So 42.57 per month. Okay, so Talia agrees. So it's a monthly savings of 42.57. This is monthly savings here. And so, you know, we're doing this for 180 months. And if you take, let's just see this right here. So if you take 42.57 and multiply it by 180, because this is a 15-year loan, you're going to be saving $7,662.60 overall.
I got, for that one, I got 4,000, or not, sorry, I got 452.57.
It's probably just a digit error. So let me check. So 28.94.94 minus the lower monthly payment of 24.42.37. Yeah, so 20, what the heck? Oh, I misread my handwriting. So 2,494. Okay, yeah. Okay, Mateo, I wrote down, this is incorrect here, so let me fix it.
Oh,
So
the wrong, okay.
yeah, it's 2,490. Kayla, is this what you're saying? Oh, 24.84. Yeah. I'm sorry. Answers get a little crazy here. So 24.84 and then 94 cents. Okay, so yeah, so 24. Let me change this here. There we go. So what happened here? 24.84. Got it. See, this is what happens. You got to input the right numbers here. So 42.57 and then multiply that by 180. Mateo, I apologize. I didn't write down the correct monthly
Yeah, you're
payment.
good.
So it would make sense. You would get your money back over time. The question is, when would you get the money back? I'm talking about the 7,000 over the life of the loan. When would you do that? Or when would that happen? And when would you really be saving money per month? Because overall, at the total life of the loan, you would get your money back. The question is when. And believe it or not, that's a question in the next few problems.
So, but so even if we bought those purchase points, they're still gonna give me a monthly payment as if I loaned $350,000.
Yeah, it's based upon that. Because again, you paid up front. They don't put it into the loan. Which there are, I guess it is possible to do that.
I would just think that
But
they
if
would
you-
take it out of the loan. Like, oh, I'm paying $7,000, so let me just take that out of your loan that I'm giving you.
Oh, there's a misconception. So it doesn't take it out of the loan. That's the cost of it. That's that doesn't affect the principal of the loan at all. That's on top of the loan amount of 350,000. So you have to pay back the
Oh, okay,
350,000.
so it's not, okay, so they're just using okay, I get it now.
That's just a flat out addition. It's an additional cost over the loan
Okay.
amount.
Okay, cool, that makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And that's why it's so important to speak up and ask questions. Are we good on that? Because those were good questions on his point. Online, are we good, you guys? Okay. All right. Okay, so number 3 is similar to number 2. So I'm going to give you guys that one on your own. Okay, it says, how much will the monthly savings be? That's what we just did right here. So what you guys are going to have to do is calculate the monthly payments and subtract. So let's write that down, just a little note, and you guys can do that later. So calculate monthly payments. Okay, and subtract. That's all you do. And again, this is similar to number 2. So if you understood number 2, number 3 should be doable. Okay, so you got to calculate 2 monthly payments, subtract the 2, and that would be your savings. And I tell you guys, this is the this is the last lesson of the year. And of course, I always do all the key problems with you guys in class, but if you guys need help on your work, on the ones that you're working on, of course, come into intervention between 1 and 3 p.m. and after school. I'll be happy to help you out. Okay. Whether it's a Tuesday, Thursday or not, you can always just, message me and we can always get together. Just keep that in mind. Okay. Number 4. Okay. Number 4 is going to be on your own too. I'm only going to select the big problems here to do with you guys. We're going to skip number 5 and number 10, I think. So let's go on the back page. Now, number 6 is a big one here. So we got to do number 6 together. Okay. Number 6. Okay, let's go through all of this step by step and let's do it off to the side. Okay, so on this one here, the Bedford Shore Credit Union offered Patty a $220,000 30-year mortgage. So we got different things going on. So the loan amount right here, the loan amount is $220,000. The time involved, T is 30 years. Do you guys know how many months that is? You're going to need to know in a minute here. Yeah, 30 times 12 is 360 months. So 360 months. That's the number of payments you're going to have to make. That's a lot of payments. Okay, so, and then the APR is 3.17%. Okay, that's the APR. So we'll write that down, 3.17%. So I always read the problem here and understand what's going on. You need to know the loan amount, the length of time in terms of months, and you need to know the APR. The credit union offers up to 4 points that will reduce her APR by 0.25% per point. That part's important. So let's underline that part. This is the reduction. Okay. So so this person can offer up or can get up to 4 points worth, either 1 point, buy down the loan using 1 point, 2 points, 3 points, all the way up to 4. Each point will cost 1% of the loan value. So remember that 1 point equals 1% of the loan value, or the loan amount, excuse me. Okay, so remember that. That's the cost of the loan. This is cost. Okay, and then what we want to do, and right here it says Patty is considering buying 3 points. Okay, so we need to know that. So she's going to be buying 3 points worth to bring down the interest rate. So we got to figure out what the new APR is. Okay, so the first thing we do is we figure out the new APR. So let's do that first. So new APR. Now this is just like number 1 that we did earlier, and this is where I would like your help here. So Garrett, can you help me out a little bit here? Share your thinking on this. How would we calculate the APR, the new APR on this one, if she's considering buying 3 points to bring down the interest rate?
Is it gonna be 3.17 minus 4 or 3? And then times 0.25.
There you go. Okay, so let's go ahead and work on that and let me know what you're coming up with.
I got 2.42.
All right, very good. So 2.42%, that's the new APR. So we got to figure out her monthly payments. It says calculate her monthly payments with the points. It says with, underline the word with, okay? But that means that we're considering the points that she pays off the loan or or buys down the interest rate. That's what I meant to say. All right, and then part B says without the points. So old APR. So basically what we just did earlier on the previous problem. So let's go off to the side and let's use our monthly payment formula twice. Okay, now we're gonna start off with the new APR. So new APR, which we just calculated is 2.42%. And then we'll do the part B here in a minute. So let's get started. Here comes the monthly payment formula again, same thing. Okay, you want to take your loan amount, which in this case is 220,000. Multiply it by R divided by N. So that's 0.04 or 0.0242 divided by 12, because this is a monthly payment. So you always divide it by 12 for monthly. Okay, times 1 plus 0.0242 divided by 12 raised to some power. What power do we use? So this is a 30-year loan. So what power do we raise it to, you guys? 360. Remember, you always raise it to the NT power, okay? N is equal to 12 in this case, T is 30. So 30 times 12 is 361. So raise it to the 360th power, divided by 1 plus 0.0242 divided by 12 to the 360th power, and then subtract 1. Okay. So we need to work on this in Desmos. So go down to the next line here, enter that in. You could copy and paste the previous formula if you want, or you can simply type it in. Okay. It doesn't matter. So go ahead and work on that. Connor, what are you coming up with on this one? Okay, let me know when you're ready, bud. Okay, so that number doesn't make sense. So yeah, Can you see mine? My calculation here? You got to check your numbers and check your parentheses. I'm not done with mine yet. Can you guys put your answers in the chat? What are you guys coming up with on this one to the nearest penny? Let's all double check each other here. Yeah, that happens, right? So whenever you get an answer that doesn't make sense, because it's got to be a bigger number, right? Okay. Is everybody else coming up with that too? Okay. All right. So $860 and 14 cents. So come on. Da-da-da-da. Okay, so I'm coming up with that too. So $860.14. This is with the this is with using the new APR with the points, okay, with the points, which means we're buying down the interest rate to reduce the monthly payment. Now, part B is this calculator payment without the points. That means using the old APR, okay? So using the APR, the original APR, which is right up here, 3.175%, okay? So what we need to do is do that again. We need to work on this one. So let's calculate another one here. Same equation. So copy paste your formulas in Desmos, but change your APR. 0.0317 divided by 12 times 1 plus 0.0317 divided by 12 to the 360th power. Again, it's the same thing, but with a different APR. So usually when I do this on my own, which I do everything that I assign, is I copy paste formula. So when you go to Desmos, copy the one above that you just used, Control C, and then paste it in the bottom one and then modify it. Okay, so everybody start working on that. This is a higher interest rate, so we should expect a bigger number. Okay, it better be bigger than $860 because it's a higher interest rate. This is why people buy down the interest rate, is because you're going to save money on a monthly basis. So 0.317, 0.0317. Caitlin, can you help me out with this one when you're ready?
For the second one, right?
Yeah, for the old APR, the original APR, 3.17%. It should give us a bigger number than $860.
47.
You know, your audio's cutting out. Can you just type it in the chat for me? That'd probably be easier. Okay, and Justin's agreeing with you. Okay, so $947.82. Let me finish mine up too. Okay, so here we go. I agree with you guys. So $947.82. All right, so check this out. So if you buy down the interest rate, it'll cost you money, but it's going to save you money per month. It's going to go from $947 per month to $860 per month. So you have a monthly savings there. The question is where's the break-even point? You know, when do you actually start saving money? Because it's going to cost you money to do this. In fact, we need to figure this out. We got to figure out the cost of the loan. So to figure out the break-even month, we have to figure out the cost first. Okay, and we did this earlier, so let's do this together. She's buying 3 points. So I need some help on this. How do we figure out the cost of the loan? So maybe Ethan, can you help me out with this one? She's going to use or she's going to buy 3 points to bring down this interest rate. So what's it going to cost her?
I'm not even sure how to go about that. So what's the first step?
Okay, so let's go back to a previous problem. So like in number 1. So let's say part B here. Let's look at part B. If you want to buy down the loan using 2 points, if you purchase 2 points, 2 points is 2%. And so you got to take 2% of your loan value.
Right. So if the other one's 3 points, then that's 3%, right?
Yeah, let me go back to the original. So this is our problem here. So she's going to buy 3 points. So she's gonna have to pay 3% of the purchase price. So how
Right.
do you, how do you calculate that?
Let me see.
It's gonna cost her 3% of the loan value. So 3% of the loan amount.
So is that the 220,000?
Right. So what's 3% as a decimal?
0.03.
Okay, so what's 3% of two? It says
I'll
220,000. So when you're ready, you can help me out with that.
I got 6,600.
That's right. So it's gonna cost her $6,600. The question is like, when does she start, when does she pay off the 6,600 and start saving, actually saving? Because she's got to pay that money back. I mean, she's got to get it back. So what we need to do now to figure out the break-even month. So this is the new question right here, the break-even month. When she starts actually, she gets all her money back, the $6,600 back, and she starts actually making or saving money each month. So to answer that question though, guys, we need to figure out the monthly savings. And the monthly savings is by using these numbers over here off to the right. Okay. And we did this earlier. We did it in number 2. Okay. We did it in number 2. You got to subtract the monthly payments, the new payment, the old payment, and then you're going to get how much you're saving per month. So can someone help me out with that? Who would like to take that one here? What would be the monthly savings if we reduce the interest rate? Mateo, is that for this problem here?
Yeah, I think so. For number 6, yeah. You're talking about the savings, right? Like the difference between the two?
Yeah, so 947.82 minus the 860.14.
947, 86. Oh, why do I have 856.74? Hold on.
It's okay, we're just comparing values here. Do you agree with the other students? Just redo it. It's probably a calculator error.
Yeah, probably.
So I'll do it too. So 947.82 minus the 860.
Oh, I got 856.74 for the width the points. So I'm trying to figure out where I went wrong on that.
Yeah, it's probably a digit off, like it happened to me and other people. So you got to just check your digits. You probably got them reversed. Okay, so the monthly savings is 87.68 though. All right, this is 87.68. This is per month. Okay, every month you're going to save this. Now, we haven't answered the question yet. So let's go back to the question. It says, when's the break-even month? The break-even month is when you pay off the $6,600 and then you actually start saving. So how do you figure that out? How do you figure out after how many months you pay off your $6,600? Because remember, you had to get that, you guys, you have to give that up front. You got to pay the bank $6,600 to do this up front in the beginning of the loan. Okay, and then after a while, because you're saving $87.68 every month, pretty soon you're going to get your money back, right? Well, the question is when, and that's called the break-even month, when you get your money back and then you actually start saving. So how would we approach that? I'd like some ideas from you guys. So break-even month.
I just divided the 6,600 by the cost, by the difference between the 2 months.
Okay, so let's run with that idea. Okay, so if you're saving $87.68 per month, so $87.68 per month, and you multiply it by, some number of months, so a number of months, which maybe we can call that X maybe. All right, pretty soon that's going to be equal to $6,600. And what Mateo just said was basically the solution to this equation right here. He said, take $6,600 divided by the monthly savings, which is how you solve this equation, and then you'll get some value of number of months. Because after some number of months, you're gonna get your money back. Does that make sense, you guys? Okay, so when we solve this equation, we got to divide by 87.68. So go ahead and do that. It'll be a decimal, but we'll round it, all right? Because this, X should be, a whole number probably. Can you guys do that? And just you can round it to the nearest tenth. That'd be fine. You don't have to be more precise than that. What are you guys coming up with right there? 75 point what? Okay, so 75.2 roughly. So 75.2 months. So after 75 months, you will get, maybe 76 months. So in the 76th month, you will get your money back, and then you will start saving here. So it's between the 75th and the 76th month, she will break even. And after that, she will start saving money. So the break even month, to answer the question, is the 75th between the 75th and the 76th month. She will get all her money back. We're talking about the $6,600, the $6,600 back. Okay, and start saving money again. So remember, this is the way it works. So as you guys just finish your notes here, you have to, if you're going to reduce the interest rate to save money over time, you got to pay up front. And this loan, or in this situation here, it's going to cost her $6,600 up front in the beginning to bring down her interest rate. So she's got to get her money back. And the way that happens is that she saves $87.68 per month. And sooner or later, all right, she's going to get that money back because she saves $87.68 per month, every month. And then pretty soon, between the 75th month and the 76th month, she's going to get all that money back. And then after that point, which is called the break-even month, the 76 months is actually the break-even month. This one here. She will be making money or saving money, exactly $87.68 every month for the rest of the loan. And remember, this loan is a 30-year loan. It's a 360-month loan. So from the 76th month all the way to the 360th month, she will be saving not quite $100, but almost $90 every month, which is a lot of money over time. Do you guys see that in your mind? Because she has a lot of months remaining, because this is a 360-month loan. So from the 76th month all the way to the 360th month, she's going to be saving roughly $90, almost $90 every month. Give me a thumbs up or down if that makes sense. On screen too. I'm looking at everybody here. And again, I'm going slow on this because you guys obviously have never done this before, because you're too young. You haven't bought a house before, but I've been through 3 different homes throughout my years that I've bought and sold. And all this stuff is applicable. And I had to figure this stuff out when I was considering loans. I just did this to refinance a few months ago with my wife. Okay, let me pause because I've said a lot. Any questions come up? Because Mateo had some good questions earlier. Did any thoughts pop up that you're interested in or you're thinking about? Now, number 6 and 7 are related. Okay, they're similar. So 6, is similar to 7. These are similar. As you're going to see right here, there's a situation in number 7. This is a 6 and 7 are good test questions, just so you know. So put TQ in the margin here. I like number 7 because it asks you to, well, let's read it. So National Savings Bank approved Caroline for a $300,000 12-year loan. APR is 3.875%. Should Caroline purchase 1 point or no points? Each point lowers the APR by 1/8 of a percent, which is 0.125%, and costs 1% alone. Justify your thinking. Ooh. Well, my friends, to answer that question, you have to do everything that we just did in number 6. This is a great free response question coming up, and I'm going to give you guys something like this this weekend. Your last quiz before the test will be on Monday, but I'll publish it on for tomorrow to give you guys Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and also Monday to do it, because I know you guys got a lot of other things to do. But that right there is a great free response question. Not a select response like we, because our tests are 2-part. Some might typically give you guys a free response portion and then a selected response, multiple choice. But that right there, that's a great question for a free response. And it obviously incorporates everything you learned in number 6. So let's do this. I'm going to give you guys the hang on, let me just think about this here. Let me see. Okay, we're going to do this. We're going to draw a line after number 8. I want you guys to finish 7 and 8. The 7 and 8 are on your own. I'm not going to worry about 9 and on. Okay. The answers, you know where the answers are. So you got to check your answers with the publisher. Make sure you do that. If you're not getting the correct results, I'm available today in intervention. Okay, this is the last lesson of the year. So let's end on a good note. Make sure you're able to do these. You'll have a quiz that will be published tomorrow that you'll have the entire weekend to do. Not that it's long, it's not long. So don't misinterpret me here. I'm just giving you a lot of time. It'll be your last free response quiz on section, it'll be sections 4 and 5 combined. 1 question on 4, 1 question on 5. I'll get that graded as soon as you guys submit it. And then I'll publish the review as well. We'll make a note here that chapter, the chapter 7 test, let's put it at the top, chapter 7 test, be Thursday of next week. So next week on Thursday, only covers the sections that we've covered. So sections 1, we skipped 2, so 1, 3, 4, and 5. So there's only 4 sections in chapter 7. So this test will be fairly short. So free response quiz over the weekend on sections 4 and 5. And then I'll publish a review too. So look out for a review to help you guys prepare and everything. Test next week. And then the next weekend, I'll put out the final review, which covers all the chapters we did in second semester. And I'll give you that early, obviously, so we have time to work on it and get ready for the final. Okay, so you don't have too much to do. You have to do number 3. That was on your own. Number 3 and 4, that's it. And then number 7 and 8. Any questions? Because I want to give you the next 15 minutes to work on this, and I'm just going to walk around the room and help you guys out here. I can also help you guys out here if you guys stay online. If you don't, you can always get help with me later today between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. during the intervention time. Especially if you're not getting the answers from the publisher, definitely come in, okay? And I'll help you guys solve the last few homework problems. Any questions or needs online before I let you go? Give me some feedback either on the screen or in the chat, one of the two. Alyssa, I see you. Rebecca. Justin. Okay. You're welcome to stay online. I'll keep it open if you want, or you can log out, totally up to you. And again, I'm available today in intervention. Take the next 15 minutes to do this key problem right here, number 7 and number 8. And if you If you're not getting the correct answers, let me know right now and I'll help you guys out on that. Okay, you guys have a great day and I'll see you either in intervention or later on, one of the two. And you guys can log out here if you want, because I'm here, I can help you personally, okay? Now remember the answers are in the first module, okay? And so as you do number 7 and number 8 or any of those that you're working on here, check the answers immediately. And if you don't agree with those, you're not coming up with those, speak up, okay? And I'll help you out. And of course, you guys can work together if you like. Yeah, of course.